Hey everyone, it's Gamefruitpulp. Welcome back to some more Minecraft. Today we're going to be starting a new series sort of thing. It's not really a series because it's not going to build on itself, but it's going to be, I guess, I don't really know. I guess it still is a series, but basically what we're going to be doing is starting a new type of video today on Minecraft. What we're going to be doing is building tutorials. So this is something I brought up in my last Minecraft video, and it was received pretty well, and so I'm planning on doing these, maybe, I'm not sure how often, maybe once a week, maybe twice a week, I'm not really sure. But what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be building a basic starter home. And so the goal of this is sort of a home that you can build in your first night of Minecraft, because people always have this, there's this preconceived idea that in Minecraft, your first house needs to be made of dirt. And I don't necessarily agree with that comment. I don't agree that that's not something that's required. So I think that in the first night, you should be able to build a pretty good house, a house that you can use maybe as a storage room later, who knows. But to begin with, you can definitely have a house that is yours to live in. And so today, what we're going to be doing is building that house. So obviously, you're going to be sort of going with me as we go. I'm planning on, at the end of the video, I'll have a little tally of all the items used because I'm building in creative, but obviously the goal is for you guys to be building in survival a lot of the time. So I'll have a little counter of all the blocks I used. I hope that I can do that. That's my plan. So this is a 16 by 16 plot right here. Oh, hold on, I forgot this right here. This is a 16 by 16 plot. I went ahead and quarantined the outside area just because for those of you who are familiar with the Valcrest server, the plot size is 16 by 16, and a lot of times the outside row of the plots are taken so that people can build in them, or so that the city owners can build paths. So that's my choice for the building size. Obviously, this is something that you could build as your first house in Valcrest. It's probably not very expensive to buy the materials required, and so this is something that I sort of want to do. And obviously, the builds are not all going to be this basic. I want to start off with something pretty basic and sort of work my way up from there. So as you can see here, it's going to be a 2-room house. Nothing too complicated about it. We're just going to build the outside. Also, if you have any requests on things you want me to build, be sure to let me know in the comments, because I'm definitely open to recommendations. And so, I mean, this is just a basic home design that I usually use as my starter home with a few changes. And I'll explain those changes along the way as I go. The first change is that I'm going to be using trap doors as the windows, and the reason for this was that I thought that a lot of times the grind to get sand and to mine and to do all that kind of stuff isn't really reasonable in your first night. I think in your first night you sort of just want to get settled in and you want to get your home going and get everything going the way you want it to. And so obviously because of that, I didn't think that having your sort of first goal being to get glass, I didn't think was realistic. So that's sort of my reasoning for that. You can see here, we're sort of building up in the middle as well. That wasn't originally my plan, but I think that will look good. These are things that a lot of the time I'm not going to plan in advance. I think that if I plan them in advance, a lot of times it won't turn out as well. I think that I'll end up building the building and then change my mind about something in the middle of it. And so I sort of chose to go with this avenue just because I think that it'd be more enjoyable for you guys like this. So that's sort of that. I'm thinking I don't want to have too much wood, because if I put too much wood, then it's not going to be realistic in your first day. This is already looking like 6 trees, I believe. So we don't want it to be too much. I'm thinking the bedroom will go on this side right here, like this. The bedroom will go here, and this will be the bedroom area. And then on this side, you can have just a little room for crafting and all that kind of stuff. And over here, we can have just a tiny little kitchen type thing. Obviously not a kitchen because we don't have cauldrons or iron or anything like that. So we'll put a couple furnaces here, actually a furnace and a crafting table here. And we'll put those like that. And a torch on top of this. And it's obviously going to be a very basic house, just because it's, like I said, a starter home. You don't want it to be too unrealistic, but I want it to be something that's pretty nice. And like I said, I think this is something you could pretty easily transform into a storage room after the fact, and something that you would want to keep and not something a lot of times people build their starter home and then they think it's a piece of garbage and they tear it down at the end. That's not what I want with this. This is something I want you to be able to keep in the future. There's a lot of doors there. I'm not sure about how I feel about that. Something you can keep in the future. Oops, that's wrong. And sort of use for something else. And that's what a lot of times in my single players or even in my my like building series that I have, or my building in like servers and stuff like that, I usually try and keep all my buildings. I try and use them in the future for different things. And so obviously I would want the same to happen here. So we're just going to go like this and we'll start working on the roof. The roof is probably going to be the most difficult thing to do, in my opinion. We're going to go with stone on the outside, like this. And then the rest of the roof is going to be spruce or oak wood. And that's going to be your hardest task, is finding an alternative wood. Obviously, it doesn't really need to be spruce and oak. It could be any two combinations of wood you want that you think look good. Acacia wood, if you spawn in an acacia biome, you probably don't want to build this kind of style of house. I don't think it'll look as nice. I don't think it'll be as homey looking as this. And I think that eventually I'll probably do an acacia style house. I think the acacia wood is more fit to modern builds, in my opinion at least. So that's if you want to build with acacia wood, I'd probably recommend something like that. And along the way in this series, eventually we'll probably end up building something with acacia wood. It's not my specialty. It's not something I'm very good at, and so because of that, I want to start with things that I think are not necessarily my forte. I don't think I have a forte. I think I'm okay at building most things in the game, but something that I think we'll do in the future. And so another thing I want to address while I'm building is that eventually I think I'm going to include shaders in the series. I think the shaders is something that would make the series more enjoyable for you guys, and so because of that, I think that is something I'll look into adding. And I think it's something that that would make the series just better in general. And so I'll look to add that. If not by the next video, then probably the one after. The next video is going to be a lot more advanced of a build. It's going to be a bigger house. I already know what it's going to be. I just don't want to spoil it yet because I don't have the design down yet. And so I might choose to build something else that I do know how to design before I do that. And so because of that, I don't want to spoil it yet. But it's something that I think a lot of people would like to build, and something that that is going to be easy to follow. Because this is something like, when you're building a roof, the hardest thing I find about copying off someone who's building in creative mode is the flying ability, right? Like, I'm able to fly back and forth pretty easily. And because of that, I'm able to build a roof a lot easier and a lot quicker than other people. And because I'm in creative and I'm assuming I'm going to be building for people in survival, I'm going to try and build more like the roof style things like that are going to be more basic, things that are going to be easy to do, just because I don't want you guys to have to be building up scaffolding to put up one block or things like that. That's not something I want to do, because that's not something, when I was thinking about how to do this series, I was thinking about the building tutorials and things I like about other building tutorials that I watch, because I think that that's, a lot of people ask on the server, and I've had a couple of people ask me on the server I put on, and in the comments section as well, I think someone has asked, how do I, what inspiration do I use for building, or how do I determine how I'm going to build? And the easiest way to determine how to build something well is to just watch other people. And I'm not saying copy their designs, like that's not what I'm doing here, but just like in real life, the easiest way to learn how to be successful at something, whether it's building, whether it's pretty much anything, is learn from people who are masters at it, learn from people who are better at it than you. And so when I'm trying to look for inspiration for things, I often look at other styles of builds. And like, for example, something that was brought to my attention on the server when I was actually building my house, which I think we'll take a look at that soon. I don't know when we're planning. I'm going to be looking at nice houses on the server, on the Valkyrie server, but that's something we're going to be doing soon. When we do that, you'll be seeing my house when it's finished. And when I was building my house, one of the things I asked for was an opinion on how to make my roof line nicer. And the opinion I got was double up this here. As you can see, I put it 2 steps back to back, and I think it makes it look a lot nicer. Obviously, right now it doesn't, because there's no actual like house done. Like, the walls aren't finished, but aside from that, I think it looks a lot like it makes the house look better. And so this is just this kind of basic house, like I said. And what we'll do is we'll go like this, and maybe just we'll put like that here. How's that looking? Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. Obviously, if you had stone, I think stone would look nicer, but we are going to try and have it as basic as possible because it's a starter home. So obviously along the way, if you want to change it to stone, that's what I would recommend. Just for today's episode, we will leave it like this with cobble. Or I would be stone brick, it wouldn't be stone. But so that'll be that, and then we'll go in and fix the windows, and we'll do the lighting. And that'll be it. And I'm going to try and keep these builds fairly quick, a lot of them. This one I'm hoping to keep under 15 minutes. We're up against the clock a little bit today. But I'm hoping to keep most of them at 15 minutes. We'll go like this, like this, like this. And I'll put a couple torches up here. And a crafting table, just, I don't know, right here is good. Perfect. So I think that part of this as well is that you want to keep it, this needs to go up all the way. You want to keep the home, like a starter home, a little bit cozy, right? You don't want it to be too big and too almost like too difficult to build. You want it to be something that you can build pretty quickly, and I think that this is something that gives that opportunity. And the most important thing, in my opinion, when building your starter home is that it's something that you want to come back to. And I mentioned this already, but if you're building a home and it's not going to be, you don't have any plans to revisit it or any plans to continue to use it after you get your starter home done, or after you get more developed builds in your building done, in your world done, then don't even build it in the first place, in my opinion, because it's not going to, like, if it's not going to have a long time use, then just build a tiny, like, dirt house, right? Because it's not like your starter home anyone's going to judge you on how it looks. It's sort of just to get started. But in my opinion, I'd always prefer to have it look nice and have it look like something that you'll be proud to say, this is the thing I started off building. Are these the same? No way. Well, that's convenient. That works well. And so because of that, I think that it's important to make sure your starter house looks good. And a lot of, like, I don't know why, but people always neglect your starter house. So that's going to be that for this build. We're going to, I think I put it there. We'll change it to night as well. Another thing, really, I think it's a pretty basic build, but it looks nice. Maybe the only thing, let me see how this looks. Maybe across the top here, we should do cobble as well. Let me just see how this looks. No, I don't think so. I think the other side looks nicer. Yeah, that looks nicer, and it's more realistic as well to have it the same all the way up. Because if you're comparing it to like a real house, the cobble would be your eavesdrops and your soffits, and then the oak wood would be your roof, the rest of your roof, like your shingles and that kind of stuff. So we're gonna go like this. We're just gonna place some grass around. Obviously, if you had more time, you could, if there was no pathway and you just wanted to build this in like your real world, you could build a fence around the outside. I realize I'm putting stuff over there too. That's okay. You could put a fence around the outside, and instead of this cobblestone wall, but because the first build is going to be based off of the Valcrest building like plot size, I'm not going to do that in this episode. I'm breaking crap everywhere. And yeah, that's everything. So we're just under 15 minutes. So not pretty good actually. Better than I thought it'd be. I thought I was going to go over, just because of the changes I was planning on making. I had a design in my head that I wanted to follow, and I pretty much followed it, which is good. And so, as you can see, we'll do a little thing here too. Why not? There we go. So this would be the least advanced of the builds I do. What's nighttime? There we go. This is the least advanced of the builds I'll do, but still one I thought would be good to start off the series with. So if this is something you want to see me continue to do, be sure to let me know in the comments below, and I'll continue to do it. It's fun to do. I enjoy building, and as a few times now, people have asked me how, like, how do I build, or like what do I use as my inspiration, stuff like that. And so I figured, why not build the way I know how. So hope you guys enjoy. If you have any feedback on how I can make this build better, or any builds you want to see me do, or just general comments on my building style, feel free to let me know in the comments down below. If you're not subscribed to my channel and you want to hit that subscribe button, it'd be greatly appreciated. I do a couple of different games in Minecraft, GTA, CSGO as well. And yeah, and if you did enjoy, I think I already said this, but I'll say it again. If you did enjoy and you want to hit that like button, maybe share my channel with your friends as well, that would also be greatly appreciated. So this has been Minecraft. I don't know what I'm going to call this. Let's call it Minecraft Let's Build. I'm sure that there's more than 1 million people who have done that on this website, but we'll call it Minecraft Let's Build for now until I think of a better name. This has been your basic starter house. My name is Gamefruitpulp. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you all later. Have a good one. Hey everyone, so from now on, this is going to be done at the beginning of the video, but because I sort of had to use the beginning of this video to explain what the series was, we're going to do it at the end today. But here is the contents of the starter home that I built. So as you can see here, 2 oak saplings, 1 furnace, 1 bed, 15 torches, 2 crafting tables, 6 chests, 22 trapdoors, 70 cobble stairs, 90 oak stairs, 56 spruce logs, 60 cobble, 84 spruce planks, and 6 spruce doors. So, I mean, this probably isn't going to be able to be done in the first night. Like I said, this might take a couple days of grinding, but I mean, if you want to live your first night, maybe just go down in the caves, collect your cobblestone. This is something that you could probably do, I think, in your first couple days. You can put this together and get the resources for this. So, like I said, any feedback, if you think this is too complex of a home, I can do a more basic one that I'll actually do in survival or something like that. But yeah, that's everything for this video. Like I said before, if you guys enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and favorite. My name is Gamefruitpulp, and I will see you guys all later. Have a good one.